Okay, so when we are learning about the rational number system, I want you to kind of think of this diagram that we have here, which I know is not related with numbers right now. But in class, we talked about how when you are a part of Liberty Middle School, you're also a part of Papillion, you are also a part of Nebraska, and you are also a part of the United States. And so when we were placing some of these people and places inside this diagram, for example, Papio South is a part of Papillion. Papio South is a part of Nebraska, and it's also a part of the United States. So once you're inside a box, you belong and you are a part of every box outward from that box. Going back to Papio South was not part of Liberty Middle School because it was not inside that box. If we look at Lincoln is a part of Nebraska and it's a part of the United States, but it is not a part of Papillion or Liberty Middle School. So this diagram kind of lays out the foundation for our rational number system. So the most specific category of rational numbers that I'm going to start with are these natural numbers down here, okay? And these natural numbers, these are our counting numbers. So counting numbers beginning with 1. So when you're itty bitty, you're learning how to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. Those are your natural numbers, okay? Our whole numbers here, keep in mind, like all of our natural numbers are also part of our whole numbers, okay? And so really the only difference now is all of these counting numbers are whole numbers, but now we're also going to include this number 0, okay? A couple things I want to point out on this page is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Their most specific category are actually these natural numbers down here. So they were just in that box to kind of give you some examples of what gets added on there. As well as this 40 over 4, we can simplify that to equal 10. All right, so every time you see a fraction, that's a division problem. And so if you can simplify a fraction, you want to simplify it. And then once you get that answer, you put that in the best category that it can go in. So 40 over 4 would simplify to 10. And so actually I could go ahead and this 40 over 4 could really be placed in the natural numbers box as the most specific category. So it's a natural number and it's also a whole number. What our entire first unit is going to cover are these integers. So integers, if we look, we have -10, -15, -49, some other negatives. So these are now all of your whole numbers. Okay, so your counting numbers and 0. And then now we're also talking about their opposites. So for example, the opposite of +15 would be -15. The opposite of +49 would be -49. Things that you will not see as part of the integers are going to be fractions and decimals, with the exception of if a fraction can be simplified down. And then our biggest category here are rational numbers. So all numbers that we're going to be working with this year are rational numbers. You are going to be seeing some decimals here. They could be negative or they can be positive. You're going to see some negative and positive fractions and mixed numbers, okay? So the definition of a rational number is any number that can be written as a ratio or a fraction, A over B, where B cannot equal 0. That's a really technical definition. Basically what I want you guys to be thinking about is any number that can be written as a fraction. So our fractions and mixed numbers are obviously rational. 2 types of decimals are going to be in this category. So we have terminating decimals, the decimals that stop. For example, 16 and 75 hundredths. Then there's no more numbers after that, so that terminates. We can write that as a fraction or a mixed number as well. Same thing, -2 and 4/10, that's a terminating decimal. So I'm able to convert that into a fraction. We also have repeating decimals. So if you look at this little bar notation right here, is what's noting that that is a repeating decimal. So 0.9999999 and so on, and there's a repeating pattern there. So repeating decimals and terminating decimals are going to be a part of the rational number system. Looking back, just want to emphasize one more time that once we're in one of these inner boxes, they belong to everything outward from it, okay? So a natural number is a whole number, and every natural number is an integer, every natural number is a rational number as well. So if we look at, for example, 378, and if I wanted you to classify that, the best category or most specific category for it is a natural number, but technically it is also a whole number, an integer, and a rational number. And then going back to how rational numbers can be written as fractions, we could take any one of these natural numbers and put it over 1, and now we've written it as a ratio or a fraction, which is why they also belong to that rational number category.